Hello and welcome to Draw 11 of the 2013 World Mixed Doubles Curling Championship from the Grant Harvey Center in sunny Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada, and our coverage here on World Curling TV. I'm Dean Gemmel and I'm joined by Sarah Carlson for this afternoon's game, a Group B matchup between Japan and the Czech Republic. There are 27 teams competing at this World Championship with 3 groups of 9 teams. This is the group we're looking at today, Group B. See the Czech Republic at 3-1. Japan at 1-1. The rest of the group trailing that group. Denmark, France, USA and Slovenia. USA and Slovenia still looking for their first wins today.
Here you see the lineup for Japan. Male player Hiroaki Kashiwagi and female player Yumiko Sato.
And the lineup for the Czech Republic. Tomas Pol is the male player. Zuzana Hajkova is the female player. Japan won the last shot draw. They secured the hammer. So they'll start with the hammer and end one.
Games may begin. The ice is all yours. Good luck. Good curling.
So, Czech Republic is gonna start, and here's Zuzana Hajkova with the typical first freeze. Mixed doubles is instead of teams of 4, you have teams of 2, 1 male and 1 female player. They will have 6 stones rather than 8, and 1 for each team will be pre-positioned. Team with hammer will start off with a team with a stone just back of the button, and team without hammer will have a center guard. The players will play either the stones 1 and 5 or 2, 3 and 4. They are also allowed to switch in between ends.
We've only seen one team so far switch positions during a game. That would be Team USA. We spoke to the Czech Republic beforehand, and they said they never switch, so we're not expecting to see that today. First draw by Zuzana Hajkova, slips a little deep and didn't curl up enough. Japan with an opportunity here.
So what would we like to see Japan do?
Well, I think we like one that's top 8 here. Close down the scoring area a bit more, or the dead freeze is certainly a good alternative too. But when we see one slip back like that, we could also see a tick played, with Japan holding the hammer. So we haven't seen much. Open up the scoring area, play a tick on that center line guard. We don't see that play a whole lot.
No, it's another thing about mixed doubles that you want to know is takeouts are not allowed on anything in the house until the 4th stone of play in each end. So even if Japan was to take the guard here, they would have 2 corners and then one in the rings that Czech Republic's actually not allowed to hit. With coming down really deep and freezing this, Czech Republic will follow, and it's just really making the scoring area a lot smaller than if they would have been, say, maybe top 12 or 8.
And with hammer, there is an opportunity, if you can play that tick on the centerline guard, to open it up and have an end that's more like traditional curling, and perhaps a straightforward deuce. Right now, I think Japan has to try to move that yellow, or get the angle freeze to run something in later.
The angle would be nice for Hiroaki Kashiwagi. They'd say that they really like mixed doubles play just because it does get very aggressive, and they like having a lot of stones in play and a lot of stones in the 4-foot area. So that might be why they're drawing the 4-foot. This one looking a bit hot.
Certainly probably improve the angles on his own, but not really ideal to be deep. Now the Czech Republic will close down the scoring area a little bit more.
If they can just tap up and sit second here, it's going to be difficult for Japan to score more than 1.
And forcing your opponent to 1, just as like it is in the high levels of traditional curling, forcing your opponent to 1 when they have last rock is certainly a good end for the team without last rock.
I think even though there's fewer stones, we certainly see higher scoring. So if you can have your opponents take one, then if you build a good house, there's a lot of opportunities in mixed doubles to actually take 3 or 4.
Thomas Powell here is the fourth-ranked male player in the field so far. Has not had a game below 80%. We've noted earlier on the webcast that we think a score of 75% or higher in mixed doubles game is a pretty solid effort.
And they are also 3-0 so far.
His teammate, Susanna Haikova, is the 6th-ranked female player, so they're certainly near the top when it comes to percentages because there are 27 teams in this field.
So Japan were looking at rolling in. I think they could maybe just try and slash these yellows.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised they're not playing the slash double. It certainly looks like that would be a good play.
It would spread things around, probably keep quite a few reds in the rings.
Even if they pushed all of it a little deep, wouldn't be in the rings, wouldn't be the end of the world at this point.
No, definitely open up the forefoot in the scoring area and probably enable them to take 1 or 2, maybe 3. Just with the back 4 weight here or something, gonna try and roll in off the top yellow.
They'll sit, remain shot, but certainly an opportunity here now for the Czech Republic to move their yellow and actually be shot, I think. The Japanese team plays out of Nagano, club in Nagano. Hiroaki lives in Nagano as well. Yumiko lives in Tokyo.
Yes, she started curling in 2010 after having seen this on TV, so she was very happy with the quick development. Made the national team in 2013. They qualified against 15 other teams in Japan.
That is quick development. Seems to me that the intern is more available here, isn't it?
It would definitely look
the angles
like
on unless they're just guarding. Seems to me they have a chance to actually lie one by promoting their own yellow.
It looks like this is just a guard.
Guess they are guarding. I think they had an opportunity to move their own, promote their own yellow and lie one and lock in a steal. But they may be content with the force in the first end. Or they might suspect that Japan might make that shot for them if they try to get more than 2. And right now I don't see how Japan scores more than 2 in this scenario. A smooth move to the hack there. You missed that, Sarah. Very smooth over to the hack with the rock. All in one motion.
Do you think it's important to be smooth?
Not really, but it was.
Hiroaki Kashiwagi with a smooth slide though, and that might be important.
That is important in mixed doubles as it is in traditional curling. As we've noted before, if you make shots in either format, you tend to win more games than you lose.
They seem to be quite well adjusted. Kashiwagi said before the game that's very different from curling in Japan, where you'll have maybe 1 or 2 feet of curl, and here in Canada you definitely have more, and the ice is also very fast. So we've seen a lot of teams actually struggle with adapting to that, but it looks like Japan has done a good job.
Seems as though every country certainly has less curl in their home facilities, except maybe some of the especially the developing countries where they are often playing on ice that doesn't have nearly as much swing as we're seeing here. Ice and rocks that produce a lot of curl certainly makes the mixed doubles game more interesting. We did see last night Spain with releases and deliveries that certainly worked on championship quality ice. Susanna Haikova with her last, team's last.
Just going to guard down this side as well, and basically make it impossible for Japan to take more than one.
I think Japan had to be aggressive earlier in order to try to get their deuce. Perhaps the tick would have been a good play. And I actually think the Czech Republic could have promoted their own and possibly set up a steal.
So both teams just being a bit careful.
And I imagine they're going to just throw this one away. That's exactly what they do. So it's 1 for Japan in the opening end. Secured the hammer with the last rock draw and secured 1 point early in this end, and that didn't change throughout the end.
Do you think we're in for a game with lots of stones in play, though?
Seems to be that way. I don't know. Seems to be neither team was all that interested in running rocks in that end. We'll see what happens now the Czech Republic has the hammer. I haven't seen them play a whole lot so far in this event. They are 3-0, so they're doing something right.
Well, Susanna is quite experienced. She won the silver medal in the World Juniors 2012, came in 4th 2013, and she's definitely a dedicated curler back home in Prague.
They have one club in Prague, 4 sheets. Of course, we know that the Schnettils have just fared awfully well at the Men's World Curling Championship in Victoria, BC. They curl to that club. I guess as all of anyone in the Czech Republic. If they have one club, that's where you'll be at. They said they had 350 members at their club. So that's certainly a good number on a 4-sheet club.
I think there's actually some work in progress to maybe get another arena for curling as well. Do you know that curling club they have, there was initially going to be a swimming pool, but they changed it into curling, and Susanna Haikova said she was very happy with that. She went straight away, 10 years old.
That's a lesson for communities everywhere. Build a curling club instead of a swimming pool. Plenty of swimming pools, not enough curling clubs. It's a good place for that stone.
Definitely top 4 foot will get you a much better result than being deep. It's a very usable stone.
Does look like Susanna could get inside on that, though. Neon shoelaces. Nice touch.
Yep, Czech girls also known for their creative earrings when it comes to curling.
I did not know that, Sarah, so I'm...
That's what I'm here for, to give you all of that important knowledge.
I've learned something already. This rock, though, however, is not going to finish enough. And will slip to the back 8. Now an opportunity for Japan to really lock down the scoring area. Well-placed freeze with the in-turn. I think, you know, if they make this shot, then the Czech Republic will have a decision to make, and I think the time to bail in mixed doubles is as soon as possible. If you're going to bail, it seems the first time you can hit is the shot to do it on, and not once you wait beyond that shot, it seems as though it's too late. So
you're only playing 5 stones, so you're not going to have a lot left to work with if you wait.
So I think the decision whether you're going to hit and try to, you know, rearrange the rings, or really should be on the 4th shot of the end. And if you don't do it then I think you're committing to not doing it at all. So we'll see what they play here. That was well short, so they have I think they could still get to the button with the wide in turn, but they're going to come with the out turn and try to they can get inside on that red.
Yeah, and here you see the Twitter hashtag. It's WMDCC2013. Feel free to post any questions on there. I think Dean is looking particularly smart today, so I'm sure he's going to give you all the answers.
I may look smart today. I don't know if I'm feeling particularly clever, though.
Well, you should never just admit that.
Well, I'm an honest webcaster. Thomas Powell, he's got better line than Susanna did. Looks like he's going to get inside, but a little bit short.
A little bit short, but Czech Republic now with 3 stones lying around the rings.
We'll see what Japan does here, but there could certainly be an opportunity for the Czech to play a peel and start to figure out how to make all those 3 count. I think at the end of the day, you and I are both suggesting maybe some more peels and some more ticks than we've seen so far.
Yeah, well, that would probably make the game easier. A lot of we see that mixed doubles is really aggressive and sometimes really complicated, but you could actually have the choice of making it less complicated, and I think a lot of teams would benefit from it. Actually think more like normal curling than getting the mess that can sometimes be mixed doubles.
This rock has some curling to do. Heavy. It's going to slide by everything. Now let's see what the Czech Republic plays. Can they make a play on that red somehow? I'd love to see them peel here. Leave that lonely red in there, peel the guard, or a double peel. And then make Japan figure out how they're going to prevent them from scoring multiple points this end. You know, it's Monday. I think one thing about mixed doubles, Sarah, it's an ideal curling format for watching in the office.
And why is that?
Short games, shorter ends. If your boss were to drop in, you can quickly, you know, you won't miss. You know, you miss a bit of one end, you go to the next. You don't have to worry about losing 3 hours of your workday if you're watching this at work. So there's an endorsement for mixed doubles for office web streaming. And they are playing the peel, I think. No wonder they're 3-0. Really like that call.
Yeah, now you see it's definitely looking a bit more complicated for Japan. They're going to need to get rid of some yellow or maybe get another red in there. They could still tap up that red that Kashiwagi just tried to tap up. So he's just played this, going to need to do it again, and he's going to need to do it better, or Japan's going to be in some trouble here.
A vigorous high five there between Powell and Haikova.
Well, maybe that's part of why they are 3-0 as well. Encouraging good body language.
Other. Yes. They're both students, the Czech team. Here's another player sweeping on the offside with the slider.
And they've got some big curl coming here.
And that is going to, well, there's a double there. Not the easiest of doubles, but not the most difficult either.
No, if you were to get rid of one yellow as well, it's not the end of the world.
Right. This is really
keep your shooters, still have 3 in the rings.
Yeah, they could almost play the, not worry about the double and play the inside roll. Roll tiny bit, or I think they're going to slash their yellow onto it. That's a pretty good play too. Or not. Yeah, I guess that's what they're playing. It's a little more difficult when you have to cross it and hit it on the low side, as opposed to coming into it.
To remember, this is where he just played his peel, so just seen this up this path.
It's like a fair amount of ice.
Yeah, they need to hit it on the left-hand side as you see it there.
And they just added some ice, so maybe he's not throwing it particularly hard. It looks like he's playing it with less weight than we might have imagined. He's got some curling to do.
Owen will actually ship their own off the button, leaving Japan with shot stone.
Well, they had what probably was the right ice till he added a bit in the hack or overthrew it. Needed to curl up another half rock, actually. We're brilliant at reading the ice from up here at our table.
Well, I said you were looking smart. You should just believe in yourself, dear.
Right. That's sage advice.
Or if don't, then you can just believe in me when I tell you.
Okay, I'll start doing that.
So, what's Japan going to do here?
Well, it looks like they're talking about promoting their own red just a bit, topping it forward.
Do you like that call?
I don't mind it. Or the freeze one right in there is the other call, I guess. Or a guard. They could straight guard. This is their last. I would like to be second shot. They could freeze right on top of theirs. Top it a little bit. They're not going to be able to lie two. Miko Sato in the hack. Solid delivery for someone who hasn't curled all that long.
Yes, I think we see that a lot with the Asian teams, that they just have they normally have really, really good technique. And Yumiko Sato as well. This one just heavy though.
Flawless technique, but perhaps not the best sense of weight there. I think now the crotch double certainly available. Hit it right in between. They both go. It was available last time too. I thought they might throw it on the last one. These are never quite as easy as they look. Another one that might actually be easier with the in-turn, where you could coming into this into these rocks with the in-turn instead of the out-turn. You have to catch just a little piece of the one that's slightly higher.
Yeah, man, you know, that would be Susanna's out-turn. She's a left-handed player.
I was just going to say, she's really fouled me up with this left-handed business. I would have suggested to her before the game that she could have changed that to make our job here in the webcast a little more routine. This has some curling to do. She can't hit that one too thick.
She will, and it's a steal for Japan.
Yeah, an unlikely steal. Never looked that good.
They can take a deep breath there. They were in some trouble of losing maybe a 4.
I think would have been better to play that with her out turn. They would have, at least had one for sure. So after 2 ends, it's Japan 2, Czech Republic 0. Would you like to look at the other sheets, Sarah? Give us a little update.
Of course. We have Australia playing France. And Australia got 1 in the first end there, so they're up 1-0. Denmark's playing USA. And USA got 1 in the first end. Finally, New Zealand also got 1 in the first end against Australia.
Austria. Yes.
No, that's Australia, and Austria was playing France. No, you're absolutely right, Dean. I'm sorry.
I'm so rarely right on these details that I couldn't really trust it. But yes, that's bronze medalists from last year. Austria down 1-0 to New Zealand.
So a lot of scoring ones.
Maybe we need to give that summary again. New Zealand up 1-0 on Austria on sheet D. The USA up 1-0 on Denmark on sheet C, and Australia up 1-0 against France on sheet A.
Thank you for that. I'm so lucky to have you.
You really are. I'm usually not the details person, so.
And Kashiwagi is lucky to have Sato. Look at that freeze.
Yes, another well-placed first stone. And Czech Republic will try to play down to it. I think they could move this one a little bit, get a little inside and move it. Just a bit. It's got some curling to do. Weight's close. Not going to move it a whole lot, but certainly going to get a nice inside position. Maybe no, not quite. Now, right off the rip here, Sarah, they're not set up all that great. Japan just called for a straight guard here, an early guard. I'd like to see them bring another one in. See that move to the hack? You missed it again. You have to watch it next time.
I will watch
Hiroaki.
closely.
It's all one motion. Age 31, started curling in 1992.
Yeah, Japan just feeling that it's the Czech Republic is going to need to make a move on this, so they are guarding.
Looks maybe a little bit strong.
Which
Close.
is a good option.
Yeah, no, he's actually close. He'll be just short of the rings or just in the 12-foot. It is a good option, good play. You have to remember Czech Republic is 2 shots away from really doing anything with that red. And we only have 5 shots per end. You have to make a decision early to do that. What do you like here, Sarah? I wouldn't mind seeing them run that red that was just thrown into the pile.
No, they are also looking at the double peeling the guards to keep it really open.
Yeah.
Well,
Like that
but
option as well.
yeah, like you said, it might be a good idea to get things moving in the forefoot as well.
This is the shot to play something like this on, though. The fourth shot, the first shot of the end when any team can play a hit. And from what I've seen so far this week, if you don't play it here, you really don't have a good chance to play it later, typically. Tomas Powell, age 25, started curling in 2004.
Been playing mixed doubles with Susanna for 4 years and makes a double right there.
And dating for a similar amount of time, I imagine. Is that right, Sarah? Is that what we learned?
I believe that's what they told me.
That's what they told you, yes. So mixed doubles has perhaps helped that.
Help the dating?
Perhaps.
Well, it
They have a
would be a
locked-in
good
date.
thing to do on a date.
Exactly.
Play some curling.
Do some mixed doubles curling, and probably better than dinner and a movie. Did open it up, and Japan, though, is going to replace that guard.
I may be hoping to steal again here.
They're set up to do it again, although they're also could give up multiple points if things don't go quite their way, but it's already late in the end, and they have one on the button, partially frozen, the one behind it. He's going to angle this. Now this will give the Czech Republic an opportunity to blast something here. He could make the hit that on the inside, roll over and catch on the one that he just put over in the 12-foot on the far side. Squeeze that red that's in there, squeeze that out, maybe at least to the edge of the 4-foot. If he throws it with some pace. May not go very far at all, though. I guess nose is probably best here, actually.
Yeah, they're taking a bit of ice again, so probably not aiming for the inside, but just right on the nose.
Yeah, I'd take enough ice that it was nose, or if anything, you crossed it a bit, but I don't think you want to hit it high side. Well, may not be too bad to hit it high side, actually. That red's not. You want to get some action, I think, on the red that's in the button, on the button. Well, we'll see some rocks moving here. See what kind of weight Thomas brings here. Not a bomb, but it has some pace.
And that's a very nice result.
Bit unlucky that high yellow didn't stick more in front of those.
Yeah, but still 2 usable yellow stones in front of a now very lonely red.
Right. Now Japan is into a section of the end that gets a little nervous.
Yeah, and once again, they're going to guard.
Czech team, despite being down 2-0 early, seems pretty comfortable, and they certainly, with a couple of different outcomes in the last end, could be ahead instead of down 2. Guarding, sorry.
Less ice.
Yes, that's a nice translation for us there, Sarah.
Yep, I'm learning all the languages this week.
Guarding not particularly easy, as we've seen all week on this ice. Guarding a single stone. This looks heavy. Hoping maybe now to rearrange that pile just a bit. I think the doubles there have to get fairly close to the yellow with it, don't they?
Looks like they need to be really close to the yellow.
I'm not so sure. No, I guess it is there, just. Or they could just hit that. Lie 2, 3, 4. It's a tough double. You have to just paper the yellow that's at the top 4 foot. Could also play their yellow, and I think catch enough of the red to stick around at the back. And probably at that lie first and third for 1, 3, 4. So they're trying this double, the slash double. Just missed their own yellow, catch the red at the back of the button.
Of course, they could just get to nose as well, but they want to be careful not to get their stones absolutely overlapped, and in that case maybe they won't be able to get to the red.
Yeah, if they ever rolled inside and staggered on their own, that would be not a good result.
So tricky shot here for Thomas Powell.
Just cleaning. Close perhaps.
Don't think he's on the inside. Oh.
Well, still lying 2, 3, 4, but moving that red just a little bit made running the 2 yellows onto it a little more difficult if that's their opportunity. Now they're staggered. I think if they hit the high red onto their yellow, they might clip the red, but they could miss it pretty easily.
So Japan looking at the rolling in here, is there any chance that they could actually roll in and help Czech Republic?
Well, yeah, I think if they hit the high yellow too thick and hit the top of that yellow, they could push. I don't think they'd push it for shot, but
could they just angle them so that running it back for Czech Republic would be easier? I'm not sure.
They might. Of course, they make this double. They could make the double and leave a double back for 2. Robert Desjardins walking behind us up here in the at our spot.
Well, I guess you can see the angles better from up here. It's
Perhaps
not a bad spot to be.
Headset for Robert. Going hard on this early. Now they're calling her off. Well, certainly makes 1 easier. I think the 1 is sort of automatic now, but that's all it's going to be.
And so not a bad result for Japan. They're up to nothing and just giving Czech Republic a shot for 1 here.
Will be just for 1. There's not a play for more than 1. I think Robert Desjardins is looking for a donut.
He's didn't find any here, so he's moved on. And Susanna Haikova now left with the opportunity of making a play on that red to the yellow, onto the red to score 1.
I think any contact with the red, they score 1. And no more than that. A knitted brow in the hack. Perhaps not liking it. This is her out turn. Probably would be easier for a righty with the in turn. You can see about 3/4 of the red, though. I think if she hits half of it, makes this. Early call for sweeping. She's after it. And there you go. Well played shot. Secures their 1 after 2 ends when they looked like they could have scored more than 1. They score 1 here in the 3rd end.
What do you think they could have done to score more than 1? Like, what would you like to see them do as the game moves on?
Well, I do like the fact that they're clearing guards and trying to open it up when they have last rock. I thought they could have played a different hit there. I guess what was it on Thomas's 2nd stone than the one they did? I need a replay, but I do like the way they're trying to open things up when they have last rock. It seems as though they're conscious of that, trying to score multiple points. It hasn't quite worked out for them. I think in the end prior, I think they could have played the double instead of the slash that they tried with Thomas's. Played the double that they tried in the last one, and that might have left them lying 3 or 4. But they go to this end without the hammer, down 2-1.
And Japan just being quite brave. They're really going all in for the offense, and with some good results so far.
They seem to think that if they have a stone in there that's locked fairly well, they're going to be content to make it difficult to get it out. This looks heavy, and it has some curling to do. Here's an opportunity where we talk about with a less than great opening rock to play the tick, but Japan, I think, will like to play the freeze or top 8. I'm not exactly sure where they called for this, but
no, last time they were calling the freeze, so I'm thinking that might be the call again. They would be sitting 2, but very early in the end, so Czech Republic can come down and freeze on and maybe tap around a little bit on that and actually make it difficult for Japan to score 2 in the end. Well executed, though.
Indeed it is. Almost a perfect freeze. Taps it just ever so slightly. But now the Czech Republic, if they can freeze on that and move it a little bit, they will close down the scoring area again. But a big shot here for Thomas Powell. Japanese contingent in the stands. See there's the hat that was on the camera earlier, Sarah. I think now it's on a person's head.
Well, that would make more sense to me
than covering the camera like it was earlier.
So important freeze here for Czech Republic. Really need to lock one on the Reds.
Weight looks close.
The line looking pretty close too.
Looks like it could be a really nice shot. You don't want to bounce, though.
Beauty.
They are sitting 3rd shot, but well positioned.
With a couple of stones to go.
With a stubble a couple? Is that Swedish?
No, but I am Swedish, so I have the right to stumble, I think.
Yeah, indeed you do.
we're seeing a switch in positions here. What might be the reason for that? We now see Sato throwing the burger bit, as you like to call it, the stones in the middle.
Yes, the stones in the middle. A well-played one there. It'll lie 3 now. But we haven't seen a lot of the switching of positions throughout a game, but the Japanese team just switched so that the male player is throwing 1 and 5 and the female player is throwing 2, 3, 4. The prevailing wisdom is you have the male player throwing 2, 3, 4 in case you need to throw bigger weight or run some things in, and your female player throw 1 and 5. But I'm not sure that always holds up.
And the Japanese team doesn't really seem like they want to run a lot of things in anyway.
Exactly. We haven't seen Hiroaki Kashiwagi throw a lot of big weight, so that may not be part of their game plan here.
So now let's see if Thomas Powell can follow up his previous really good shot and tap this up.
Japanese now lying 3. Almost all of them touching the button. Thomas Powell is working on this one. Line looks great. And I believe he might be second shot now. Not entirely sure. It's close. Japan has 3 shots to play. The Czech Republic has 2.
Playing the freeze, it could maybe hit that yellow on the outside and tap the one on the center line.
I like that call. Play the hit on the wide yellow. Move the yellow that's just biting the button. Perhaps second or third shot. I'm not quite sure. Move that one over. Even if you left it as shot but spilled it over, suddenly you bring a multiple point end into play. But they don't seem to have looked at that. I don't know what the freeze really accomplishes, to be honest. Call is whoa in Japanese. Well, of course, they bumped in the check for second shot for sure now in a spot that's really difficult to remove it.
Yeah, so what we were suggesting is maybe hitting that exactly where they did, but with a lot more weight. That would have left them keeping their shooter and just moving that yellow away in a place where they could remove it later to maybe score more.
And even if they were left after that shot sitting 2, 3, 4, it certainly would be better, I think, than this scenario. The Czech Republic may be content to guard this up now. Perhaps that might be a rule for mixed doubles. An overall limit number, you're limited on the number of guards you can throw throughout a game. You get to throw 3 guards in a game. Otherwise, you have to make a play on the rocks that are there. I'll have to run that by Kate Caithness later or somebody else at the WCF, see what they think of that.
Yeah, and if anyone else has any suggestions, of course, the hashtag on Twitter still available, WMDCC 2013.
That whoo didn't sound promising. No, it's closer than he thinks, perhaps.
Or maybe she's just changed the tactics here.
That's true. Well, do you think if you hit that red with some pace, you could squirt the yellow out?
You maybe could. The question is, we've not seen Japan hit anything with pace so far, so it might not be their go-to shot.
Boy, I'd really like to see them hit that yellow that's just almost biting the forefoot on the side, hit that thin with peel. And I think you could create all kinds of problems for the Czech Republic there. Just catch your red just a bit.
So they're going to freeze here and think maybe with a little tap up from Czech Republic or whatever the angles are, Japan's looking to score at most one. They might actually get in some trouble.
Yeah, I don't like the freeze. I mean, it might actually give the Czech Republic an opportunity to steal. Yeah, I think if they hit that wide yellow, squirt that yellow in the top 4 foot out, or at least open. It's easy to be an expert up here, though, isn't it, Sarah?
It's a lot easier than down there, that's for sure.
Really is. We make everything up here, don't we? Well, I think the way the ice moves, the Czech Republic could sit shot after this. They have one more shot to come. Susanna?
Definitely, but I think the angles there are not bad for Japan.
It's true.
They could use that to tap up.
I don't know how they score 2, though. I think they can wiggle that one red in closer.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, actually they could, and probably squirt, actually just maybe even a normal weight hit. Throw it. Hit your high red. But we'll see what Czech Republic takes away. Yeah, I know. They're going to take it away with a guard, I think.
Is this where you would have liked to seen them not being able to play more guards?
Yes, this would be their limit on a guard. Maybe it's 1 per end. I'm not exactly sure how you decide what is. I guess a guard could be anything not in the rings.
Well, they've not even played a guard this end yet, so they would still be allowed to use it. I'm sorry, Dean.
So there is that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're already disputing the merits of my rule change.
Guard on the way from Susanna Haikova.
She does throw this at all tight. It certainly doesn't seem like there would be much risk for Japan to try to run it in. We'll see what they play. You have to work to get this over. Well, bit of a turnaround move there by Thomas Powell. Going to be just over, I think. Wow, just over.
Of course, being that far away, it's not going to be easy to run in.
No, but it might give them an opportunity to get around it and make a play on their own red. Try to wiggle it in for 2. Yeah, they can hit this wide yellow onto the red, squirt that other yellow out. Or far enough to score 2. Maybe this is the shot they were hoping to have. Hiroaki Kashiwagi. Now that he's throwing 1-5, maybe this is the shot they wanted him to have. It'll be interesting to see how this works. I think they can squirt the yellow out the side. See how hard he throws it. It's like about normal. Normal takeout weight. It's got to finish a bit. Got to finish a bit. There it is.
Oh,
brilliant. For 3. Yes, we thought that shot would squirt like that. Squirt the yellow out. We thought it would do that earlier. They did it there. They knew exactly what they were doing. Just waiting for that opportunity. Went easily.
Great shot by Japan.
Yeah. Well played, and the 1-5 player switch might have paid dividends there.
So after half of this game played, that's a lead for Japan, 5 shots to 1 against undefeated Czech Republic.
And that shot might be up there for shot of the week, or one of the shots of the week, one of the 10 shots of the week.
Well, definitely. You see the line score right there. Players will have a short break, so will we, but we will be back with highlights before the start of the second half. Highlights from the first half in the first end. Stone was thrown away and Japan scores 1. In the second end, Susanna Haikova has a double for 4. She will just get the 1 and a steal for Japan. It takes it 2-0 lead. Third end, Czech Republic again with a chance of scoring 1 here. Red, yellow, red works fine and they get 1 point on the board. Finally, fourth end, and Kashiwagi with a tricky shot here. He knows the angles perfectly. Will squirt that yellow out and score 3 to take a 5-1 lead. We are back with the second half of the game here. And what do you have to say about the game so far, Dean?
Well, I think Japan has hung in there early with when in the first couple ends when the Czech Republic had a first 2 and 3 when the Czech Republic had chances to score multiple points and then found a way to score their own multiple in 4. I like the way they played that end. I thought they could have played the shot they played on their last, could have actually played something like that earlier, but the way it worked out brilliantly for them. And that their last shot, you know, they were able to remove the Czech counter easily. So it was nice to see how they built that end. Here's another good one for them. Over curling just a bit, but great weight.
A really good weight, and Czech Republic gonna need to follow here and create a good angle. We have a couple of other games going on, and we can tell you that New Zealand took a really big 5 off of last year's bronze medalists Austria. They are now leading that game 6 shots to 2. USA is 1 point up on Denmark, 4 shots to 3. And in the game between Australia and France, France has a 2-point lead, 4 shots to 2 there.
The Japanese in our game have gone back, switched their lineup once again after scoring a 3 in the last end, with Kashiwagi throwing 1 and 5. Now Sato is throwing 1 and 5. Maybe they're onto something here, Sarah.
Maybe they are. Whatever it is, it really seems to be working for them.
They're out to a 5-1 lead.
And are we seeing them guard again?
Well, I think they talked about coming on top of that yellow one that was just thrown, I think.
Be nice if they could come up to nose.
Yeah, they want to get to at least nose or
even inside.
Get inside on it, but that's may not be easy. I think they are playing into the rings. They definitely don't want to leave it on the high side and make it easy to line it up for the Czech Republic.
It's got some curling to do.
Yeah, that's exactly what we feared. And that red looks like it will get out of town in a hurry. The one that's just in the button. The question often in mixed doubles is, when do you play on that one? Do you try to build something else more, or do you take your opportunity now? What do you like here, Sarah?
Well, if they could come up, they don't even have to play a lot of weight right now. They could just kind of, well, they're looking at coming onto that red, and the back red would move. They would still keep 3 in the rings.
You're right. There's no reason that they don't really have to move the red that's biting the button, or half on the button. They don't have to move it out of the rings. Even if they move it to the back, would be a great result. See what kind of weight they throw here.
It would be very nice if they could keep their shooter as well.
Yeah.
Leave 3 yellows sitting around.
And they'd like to leave the high red in a place where it's accessible. Looks like about normal hit weight. Maybe 9-second hog to hog. So they did move it right out. And now they lie 1, 3, 4. And the red that remains is fully open. Well, their yellow sort of slipped behind it a little bit. Japan will need to get I think, something else in here fairly quickly. They could just freeze on top of that yellow.
I think that's what they're talking about. They're talking about freezing or tapping it down.
Freeze on top of the yellow that's in the top 4. Take the other 2 yellows out of play. Out of contention. But if they make that freeze, it would seem to me that then the Czech Republic could play on the red that's on the top 4 now, and at least push the one that's frozen out open.
Definitely tricky task for Kashiwagi here.
It's a freeze on its way. It's calling for help.
Oh, this is short and really, really curling.
Yeah, that's not the result they want. Now they're going to try to move that guard over to see if they can cover that other red just a bit. Not going to happen. So now Czech Republic has a fairly routine hit to live 4, but I don't know if they're playing it, or are they? No, I think
they are.
Yep. Quiet wait, but curl across the face of it just a bit and live 4.
I guess this is the charm of mixed doubles. You're down by 4, but now with a chance to actually maybe take 4 points back.
It's not a game to shake hands early, that's for sure. This has some curling to do. Just curl up a little bit. It's going to be just enough to live 4. Pretty good shot. Is there a double back here for Japan?
There should be.
Not a gimme double, but they can certainly see enough of that yellow to make the double. They may not be able to save their shooter, though.
No, but they're up with 4 points. I think they might. If they limit Czech Republic to just scoring 2, it should be an acceptable result.
Yeah, and if they can make this double, and then with those staggered guards set up, there would be a chance for a come around on their next one to limit the scoring again. They're looking at the run back now. I think they are playing the run back on their own.
There's some separation between these guards, but it looks like they're still gonna come straight down.
There's enough separation, though, Sarah, as you noted, that it's not as though they're locked to
No,
go right
you
onto those yellows.
can't just hit them anywhere you like.
See how they.
Don't want to over curl here.
Yeah, curling across the face won't be advantageous, and that's the unfortunate result of that. And now, with no guards in play, they've peeled both guards, left 4 Czech Republic stones in the range with no guards. I think now the Czech Republic could either play that or play a split on the ones that are in the top 4 and just try to move them all around. They could just guard.
If they draw the wing there too, they would leave a double, but a pretty, well, if they make the double, they would still have a pretty easy shot.
They can leave the tailor-made double, but still have, even if Japan makes that,
A nose hit for 4.
Exactly.
I've never complained about a nose hit for 4.
No, I don't think many of us have, until you miss it.
Well, before I play the shot then. So they are going to guard, maybe top 12 foot.
Don't want to leave a triple here. That would be the danger of coming in a little too tight. Even top 12 foot, they should be able to run it straight in. Japan is down to their last stone after this. And they have switched the rotation, so it's Yumiki Sato who will be throwing the last one. We haven't seen her throw a big weight hit. So the switch may not pay dividends in this end. Thomas Powell working hard on this.
I'd like to come into the rings and at least curl enough to protect the double.
Got to finish a little bit more. Well, he has left the double. It's not quite as easy as it was without that one, but she could also, yeah, just limit the damage here. Limit the damage to 2 or 3 if they like to do that. If she leaves her shooter anywhere in the top, it will certainly be difficult for the Czech Republic to make those, the rock in the 12-foot and the one that's just biting the 8-foot count.
Yep, so they are going to freeze, playing to their strength.
Freeze or just move it a little bit, did they say?
I think if they move it, they split them a little bit out to the side, maybe making it even more difficult for Czech Republic to find the place to draw.
Or to find a way to remove this shooter.
Yeah.
Need a good one here.
Well, she's been very consistent with freezes.
Early call was for line, but seems like she's got good line right now.
It's definitely looking like it's going to tap.
Maybe too much line. They don't want to chap off open like that. Oh, he's going to try to bury it back there. Oh, spun back just a little bit to leave it open. Certainly there for 5. The rare inside-out shot, too, in mixed doubles play. How many inside-out turns? Well, this will be her lefty in turn, but how many inside-out turns have we seen?
Just maybe 1 or 2 per game. So players really need to make sure that they talk about what the ice is going to do here, because it's a down a path that's never played in this game.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen anything played in this game inside out like this.
Normally what we have seen is that this path is going to curl more.
It's a hit for 5. If she can get it past the red in the back 12-foot. I think it's for 4 even if she jams it. Not easy though when you haven't seen this, when you've seen this as little as you will see in this format. Sounds like she's not tight to the brim. Oh, now it's starting to move. Just as you said, Sarah, this shots are curling more than the players seem to expect them to.
Ooh.
And a gem if she, yes, there it is, 4, 5. Count them up. That 5 was loose the whole end, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Czech Republic really just had the pressure on Japan from the beginning, when the Japanese actually went and pushed their own stone rather than guarding, came down and pushed it back of the tee line. Like you said, Dean, it was going to go really fast, and it did.
Yeah, I think she thought she was a little full to the brim on her release, and then it did start to move, and they managed to hold it with sweeping and make essentially the double.
So all of a sudden it's 6-5.
Yeah, quite a turnaround. There we go. This mixed doubles format, a lot of lead changes. Now it's 6-5. Czech Republic playing the 6th end. Japan with the hammer. Should we update the other sheets?
I would love to hear you do it, because I keep messing it up.
Yeah, unusual for you to mess it up rather than me. But on sheet D, we have New Zealand versus Austria. New Zealand is up 6-2. I think they're just going to post a score, so I'll come back to that because we didn't see it. They're going to post the score from this last end. On sheet C, the USA versus Denmark. The USA is up 5-3, playing the 6th end. Denmark has the hammer. And on sheet A, Austria versus France. France is up 4-2, and he's just going to post this one as well, so I'm going to have to come back. We're a little quick with this update. It's on its way now. It's 4-4 in that game. So 4-4, and France has the hammer against Australia. And back to sheet D, where I mentioned before, New Zealand and Austria. It is 6-3 to New Zealand, 6-3 New Zealand over Austria. New Zealand has the hammer playing the 6th end. Austria stole the last end. Bronze medalist in 2012, Austria. The Toth-Roth combination. That might be the greatest set of names in mixed doubles, Toth-Roth.
Yeah, you say it like there's just a lot of action.
There is. It's a lot of action.
Sounds like an action movie to me.
Toth-Roth. Czech Republic, big momentum change here. They're back in control of the game, really. If you can have such a thing as control in a mixed doubles game, they might have it now.
Well, at least they might feel it.
Yes.
Look at that first draw. Would definitely be a sign of control.
Susanna's looking for a high five, but it didn't come from Thomas.
They've been high-fiving all the way down this game. You'd think they keep doing it now. They just took 5.
He was looking for it, but it was ignored. So much movement about in mixed doubles. I don't know if all that high-fiving is recommended as extra movement. You got to do a lot of movement to begin with. That'll be my other rule. We'll limit the number of high fives per game.
Well, that just makes you sound really lazy. So Japan following here. This looks like it's going to be a good one as well.
Both teams have had great line on these shots. That one's over curling just a little bit, but see, over curling quite a bit, chopping off. I think they could make a play on that with the intern and sit on top of their own. Push that one back a bit. What do you like here? Get to the inside of that red with an intern.
Oh yeah,
sit
definitely.
on top of your own. Push
Well,
it to the back.
well, they've been throwing this, so they will have the line, and there's plenty of curls, so they could probably get just about the same result, actually.
That's true. This has some curling to do. Looks like Thomas Powell would like to go for weight a bit.
Well, I think they're actually looking to sit just on top of their own there.
Yeah. Certainly works pretty well. They're lying 1-3, I believe. Now the Czech Republic. There's our Twitter hashtag. If you want to tweet about this or send us questions or make comments, it's hashtag WMDCC 2013. World Mixed Doubles Curling Championship 2013. Tweet away. Especially if you're in the office on a Monday with mixed doubles in the background.
Yeah, we heard you encouraging people to ignore their work and watch this instead.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it might be a good idea.
On a Monday afternoon for people here in this time zone. Of course, if you're in this time zone, you should just come down to the arena. This is heavy and
Not helping.
switch the throwing order again, the Japanese have, haven't they?
They sure have. Maybe they're just taking turns.
Maybe they're just testing us, making sure we're on top of it. The first game we've had where a team has alternated the orders so much throughout a game.
So now they're going to play the intern. Lock another one on here.
Really make it difficult for Japan after that one sailed through. So there's like some desperation in Thomas Powell there. He knew he was quite a bit light.
That's why you want to have sweepers, so you can have someone do that work for you.
A big sigh of whew out of Thomas Powell.
Yumiko Sato just played this. She's going to need to do it again and correct the weight that she had on her previous shot.
She's had great weight until that last one.
Oh, but they are maybe looking to play it hack-ish, so maybe it's just the line.
Sound like backline weight. What do you think?
I think your Japanese is probably perfect.
Flawless. Take me to Tokyo.
I think you should ask Sato and Kashiwagi that question rather than me, but sure.
This looks like trouble, though. I think she popped this wide and heavy. Boy,
Oh,
two
exactly the
costly
same.
misses. Now, Czech Republic may make a play on their two there. Oh, they're going to stick with the guard. I might like to see them play down on top of that.
If they play down, there's really not a lot of fun things left for Japan to do.
Very little fun for Japan if they play down to it. The guard certainly makes it tough too, but I'd like to see them really put the pressure on. They might be able to lie two if they could punch that, or have a chance to lie two with their last one.
Yeah, and you'd got to think it's such a momentum change in the game. If they could come away with a steal of two here, Japan's got to be bound to feel pretty frustrated. They were up 4 points, and they could all of a sudden be down 3 points.
Right. I do think there's a play for Japan with the intern on their red.
But remember, there's a really, really high guard up there.
That's right. Just looking out and noticing it now. The one that Thomas Paul just busted to get over there. Ah, yes, there it is. So that's not available. Looks like they're going to run something in there. Playing the out turn. I believe they're going to run that high center guard in. At least maybe, I think they think if they make the double peel, it's not all bad either. It's their second to last stone of the end.
And not a lot of rotation on this. I think she actually got it going a little bit, so it will over curl.
And leaves Czech Republic lying 1 and 3 and an open red. If they nose this,
how will Japan score?
Exactly. Nose on that red that's in the top 4. I don't know how Japan scores after that. Susanna Haikova plays with a lot of confidence, I think. Did she skip in junior? Was she the skip of her junior team?
She's the third of her junior team and vice skip. But she's got, I would say, some of a leader role in that team as well. They could come down to this red, and yes, they are. They were talking about guarding, but I think this is definitely a wise call. Oh, not a happy face there. We'll need this to curl.
Definitely will want this to curl. Don't want to make the play on your own. What a disaster. Handed Japan a 2 here. This is one of the... If there's a cheap deuce, this is it.
Definitely Japan in so much trouble this end, and Czech Republic actually giving them the 2. They really wouldn't have been able to score otherwise.
Yeah, even if they hadn't thrown that last rock, Japan might have had a hard time scoring. Really not the way to miss that one. So now they've got Hiroaki Kashiwagi, rock on the way, sweeping it hard.
It looked like he got that going a little bit too. Really need to get rid of this yellow.
I'd like to see him on the other side sweeping this. Unfortunate. So back-to-back misses. Japan scores 1.
Yeah, maybe he just saw Haikova's stone hanging wide there and was afraid of doing the same thing, even though that certainly would have been fine.
He doesn't have any sweepers to stand there and tell him just to throw it clean at the broom. Settle in the hack and mixed doubles by yourself.
A mental game, this mixed doubles curling.
Perhaps even more mental than traditional curling. And traditional curling is pretty mental.
Well, Japanese fans. I'm not sure if they are worried or just excited about what's going to happen.
Oh, there.
Hello, konnichiwa.
They're not worried at all. Enthusiastic.
Just very happy to be on TV too.
Yes.
So tied game.
6-6 playing the 7th end. Czech Republic with hammer. In traditional curling, you'd say the advantage to Japan here. Can't blanket in mixed doubles either and retain hammer. So that play that we see sometimes in the second to last end of traditional curling is not available to you. So we'll... I think, though, if Japan could force the Czech Republic to 1 here, they'd feel pretty good about things. What would you rather be in mixed doubles there, Sarah? Would you rather be 1 up without or 1 down with?
Let me think about this.
And maybe then, what would you like to be? What would you prefer to be in traditional curling of those 2 scenarios? That's an interesting one, you know.
It's an interesting one.
In traditional curling, so many people prefer to be 1 down with.
Yeah, but I think you have statistics saying that you win more often if
Exactly.
you're the other way around, because you could just force the 1 and then have hammer in the extra end.
If you talk to people like Jerry Gertz at Curling Zone, they'll tell you that the statistics reward the team that's 1 up without. I think it may depend on what kind of team you have, too.
Yeah,
So-
and it'll depend on how the game has been and who you're playing, and as we said, it's a mental game.
But that's been a good statistical analysis, because for years everybody just assumed you were better off being 1 down with.
Well, I guess it's just a feeling of control. You have the hammer, you feel like you have control.
What someone like Jerry Gertz at Curling Zone will tell you is that when you're 1 down or 1 up without, you need 1 good shot to get one really good shot somewhere along the line for the force. So
What we know is that normally it'll make for an exciting last end,
exactly.
which is of course what we want to see here in our webcast.
We have that's a good play.
Yeah, that miss was punishing for Czech Republic, especially when Japan actually come down and did this. They are now sitting 2.
Could have been a huge momentum shift if Japan had made that hit for 2, but even just scoring 1 there to tie the game in 6 was pretty big. When you tie the game in 6 and score in 6, that's promising. And Susanna Haikova had been able to make her hit to lie 3 there. You know, Japan was in trouble that whole end, and they could have been face 3 with really no good way to score.
I'm actually thinking it'd be quite good to be 1 up without hammer in mixed double. You make that perfect freeze with
Yeah.
your first, and then just try and keep locking stones on there, make it really difficult for your opponent to score to.
You can certainly shrink the scoring area in a hurry in mixed doubles. Just by the guard.
Nice
Really
shot.
nice stone. Just past the guard, just papered it. And a high 5 there that was not missed. Well, had a bit of room, but it wasn't, not a lot. A couple sheets of paper, maybe 3, but a great shot.
So a traditional call for Japan, a guard.
They're going to guard. I mean, it's they have 3 shots to come. Czech Republic has 3 after. We'll have 3 as well. So it's sort of the equivalent of guarding on thirds last in traditional curling. So even though we feel like we're early in the end, you're not exactly guarding for your life here.
So here you're seeing actually Sato coming up to sweep, and Kashi Wagi just stopping halfway around along the sheet, calling line instead. Do you think there are pros and cons to who sweeps?
Yeah, I think, I think most, and I don't mean this in any way that's disrespectful at all, but I imagine most male sweepers can apply more pressure with the brush head. That's just a matter of physiology for most, I guess. But so I don't know. Seems to me that on draws, it's not that hard to get up and get after your own rock.
It did come down quite deep with this, so Thomas Powell can actually start moving things around and maybe get rid of that red shot stone. Or maybe he can definitely get rid of it.
Does leave that red up high and in less than great position.
Yeah, I thought they would play that with lesser weight to keep the yellows around.
Yeah, they lost their shooter and another yellow. I think they wanted to just move those around a bit. Of course, Sarah, if we get on the ice later after the final draw tonight, you can prove me wrong on that sweeping theory I just put out there.
I will try. Well, we're going to be on the same team.
Oh, that's right. So who will sweep?
I think we're both going to sweep.
All right.
I'm going to do anything it takes to win. And so will Japan. They're now going to come down to the yellow, freeze. Even if they stay a bit short here, that's certainly going to be fine.
Yeah, the red directly behind the red centerline guard and a staggered yellow guard in front of that. And certainly I don't see multiple points happening easily for the Czech Republic at this point in the end.
Oh, I think this is big weight from Kashiwagi.
Oh, it's
Are
really
they just
heavy.
going to pick this yellow out?
Just tickled it. Didn't really change much. You know, the way this ice moves, that rock that's just biting the top four is a guard. You could get half behind it.
Yeah, I didn't think that they were going to try and remove that yellow. They could just have drawn another one down or sit a little bit short, just make it difficult for Czech Republic to score two.
Yeah, even if they did remove that, I mean, the Czech Republic would still have this shot, so they might have been thinking if they could thinking too much about trying just to limit the Czech Republic to one in this end. Thomas Powell. Is it 82% for the event so far? He's the fourth ranked male player in the event. He's working this one really hard.
Well, needs
They've got to go on it.
bite the forefoot to sit two.
Don't think he's going to get there, but it may be a rock that they can use.
I'd say definitely so.
Well, they have one shot to use it on. This is Japan's last shot at the end.
So Sato is going to play a little tap on the red, try and sit shot stone.
We have to stay sharp with this team, switching positions continually. We have to remember who's throwing 1 and 5 and who's throwing 2, 3, 4, who's the burger and who's the bun.
If they play the tap on this, they're going to be really close to the guard. They don't want to tap it and roll open, leaving a double for three.
I mean, they can play the intern, just come down to the, get behind theirs, touch the button, even if they're quarter or a half buried behind their red, make it really difficult for Czech to score, and if they get a bit of a break, the Czech might make a play on it and they could steal two. They can't really hurt themselves with well, they could make a draw for two easy.
So T-line weight.
That's Nana weight.
I think so. We're catching on.
Yeah.
Tricky tap here for Yumiko Sato.
Fairly soft release there. That could start curling in a hurry.
It looks like it has started to curl in a hurry.
Not a lot of rotation on that stone.
Oh, but if she gets by the guard, though, she'll be looking pretty good.
She's by the guard. She'll make that top.
Ooh, is it?
Just a little strong. Oh, can't see it quite yet. They're looking at it to see who's shot. It's a big question. I think red is shot, so they're going to try to make a play on it. They do have that straight back.
Yeah, and that would be for 2. Of course, if she's a little bit on the outside, she could play it down to the yellow and score 1.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't have to hit this perfect either. Straight back. May probably make it a little bit high side. See what kind of weight they're going to throw. Guessing something along the lines of board to hack. What do you think?
I think they might even be playing it less.
Yeah,
Thomas was pointing at just
ice.
tapping it down to the back 8 foot.
So maybe they think they are shot. Well, if they are shot, they could just play the in-turn draw for 2.
Yeah, I think Japan is shot, but they're not playing too much weight. They want this to curl enough, and maybe if she won't get it back onto the red, she can just tap it their own in for a shot. Cheque means curl.
I knew that. Now they're going to play and just try to chip it.
Ooh, right by, and now we're going to find out who's shot.
I think that is one for Japan. So Japan will take that 1 up without lead into the 8th and final end.
So team talk, fist bump.
Whatever it takes.
Ready to go. Thomas seems like he's just trying to put a smile on Susanna's face after having missed that previous shot. It's going to be important for her to stay sharp with this one, so a smile might not be a bad idea.
Smiles are never really a bad idea, are they?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. And here we go, really important draw then for Sato. If she can get this freeze perfect, they will be looking in great form of winning the game.
So Sato will throw 1 and 5 in this end. They've gone with both combinations in this game. But she will have last rock in her hand for her team in the final end. Won't be last rock of the game, but will be last rock for her team. She's indicating the weight's all there. She's got to curl a bit. Maybe a little bit strong. Don't want to chap off here. That's not the result you want on your first one.
No, Czech Republic can now try and lock this on instead.
I think this is a good time for the Czech Republic to remember that they only need a deuce. And sometimes I think in mixed doubles, start to think about creating bigger ends than you might even need. They just need a deuce. If they can get a couple in there in a good position, then they should really consider peeling and opening it up.
Yeah, at least make sure that you can score the one you need to force the game to an extra, not close yourself in too much.
Certainly don't want to do that. That smile may not have been as effective as we imagined it might have been.
Or maybe she did not smile enough.
Will that be your coaching strategy, method one day, just to promote smiles, Sarah?
Well, maybe. Well, it's not going to be my only coaching strategy, but it's definitely going to be a part of it. I think Thomas made a good effort, but I just don't think that it really worked. She still looked pretty down. No. Well, points for trying. And now let's see if Kashiwagi can get points for executing.
Sounds like this has some curling to do, and it looks like it has some pace as well. Rock needs to slow down.
He seems
He
to have
comes
some
to the
good
face of
line.
his own. He's pretty good. I mean, this will be pretty good. That makes this a difficult end for Czech Republic. Do they peel?
They're looking at the guard, so I think, yeah.
I think they peel or slash that in there.
No, they're going to tap.
You think they can move it? I guess they can see enough of it that they could actually move it with that. With the in-turn, they can certainly move it, punch it to the back.
Yeah, we've seen both teams be a bit short on this side. I'm wondering if they just haven't played it enough or if it's a bit slower.
Like
Gonna need to wait all the way down here.
We saw last night in Spain versus Canada, we saw one side of the sheet seemed to vex both teams a bit more than the other.
So backline wait, looking all over the guard though, but maybe not the worst thing if they could split these.
It's open. Bit like the peel we discussed. Not quite, but we could quickly update the other sheets. Sheet D, New Zealand versus Austria. Austria is mounting a comeback. It's now 6-6 with New Zealand having the hammer playing the 8th end. The USA is up 6-5 on Denmark, and the USA holds the hammer playing the 8th. And Australia versus France. France is up 6-4 playing the 8th. Australia has the hammer.
Are they deciding on the guard?
I think the guard would be the play. I don't think either one of these teams has a coach with them, do they?
No, the coach bench sure is empty.
Doesn't look like a lot of ice for a guard, though. Sato has really taken over the sweeping duties. Waving off her playing partner, Hiroaki Kashiwagi. I didn't think that looked like enough ice. I mean, a little deeper than they would have liked, but
still making it difficult for Czech Republic here.
I think they do want to, they're going to have to free up that, get rid of their own yellow behind the red that's on the button. Looks like they're playing this double. You get everything moving here. If they can get everything moving, they would certainly at least give themselves a chance to score the single point to force the extra. To be pretty tight to that yellow guard.
Yeah, definitely difficult task for Thomas Powell.
Might have thought about running the yellow onto the red. It's close.
Oh.
It's awfully tight to that. You had to get so tight to that guard. Japan could really seal this off now. Might have been better thought might have been to run that yellow onto the red. And at the very least, they might end up with a double peel, but the angle would have been pretty good onto the red that's on the button now. I don't know if they need to make a play on their own red there.
No, I think just center line, and they're going to be looking really good.
I think if they split the center line with this guard, it's really good. make the angle run, and the one that Hiroaki Kashiwagi just threw pretty difficult, and guard the shot stone at the same time.
Yeah, and there are no more yellows to run down, and Czech Republic only with 2 stones to go. I think it's fair to say they're going to be finding it hard to even score one, but that's probably going to be the most they can do.
Don't want to curl to always thinking that maybe they bounce off this just a little bit. Pretty good result. Those staggered red stones are of no use to the Czech Republic now.
I think they might just need to double these away and then hope that they could smash one on the pin and get rid of that red in the next one. I'm not sure how they score here, Dean.
Well, they might have to look at running in that high red on the just outside the rings, and at least creating some room on the button for their last one. Run that one in on the angle. Might even, if they hit it too thin, maybe they get a little lucky and come off those staggered ones and open that up. But I don't know if just opening this up, even without a guard, I don't know how they can score. So I don't think they can just play the staggered rocks and open it up. I think they're going to have to change what's the setup on the button.
Maybe we're just going to see them play the in-off of that red and almost on the bumpers on the side with their last.
No, the one that's hung around over there.
Yep.
We're sure that one didn't touch.
I don't know, but they left it, so.
Looks like Thomas Powell there was looking for a coach to have a timeout with. There they go. That's the shot they're going to play. Run that angle. I think they got to angle this one in. I don't think doing anything with that staggered set does much for them. You have to at least give Susanna a chance to have some shot at enough of the button to score one here. This one you'd really like to be able to throw it really hard.
Big weight from Thomas Powell to try and get Czech Republic out of a trouble here. And
pretty good result.
Yeah. At least the pin is open.
Yeah. I mean, they may have a shot here now, but a good guard here certainly makes it tough for them as well. But it's better than it was. I think, however, if Japan puts one even with the other one in the top 8, covering the even a little higher than that one, it'll be tough for the Czech Republic to score. A big shot over on sheet D, if you might have heard this, might have heard the excitement. And it appears that New Zealand is still lying 1 there.
Yep, New Zealand has 2 stones left to go. Austria's got 1.
They're lying 1. They have the hammer, and it's a tie game. So New Zealand's in a command position on sheet D. So Japan looking for a guard in our feature game. Yumiko Sato. See if she throws this one. Doesn't want to throw this one soft. Wants to give this one a good chance. A little better.
Yep. She's got the destiny of this game in her hands.
We said that could happen. They've switched the rotation throughout the lineup. We said she'd have the last shot of the game for her team. She's got to find some breaks just a little bit. If it settles down, it's pretty good. Pretty good shot. Is there a triple there?
The question is, will they sit 1 if they make the triple?
Looking at the in-off. They make the triple. They're almost shot, but it's tough.
Well, almost shot. It's not going to help them here, Dean.
You don't think at the end they say, well, we're almost shot. Could that count for something?
I think they could say that, but Japan would say no.
That's the beauty of curling. It's a world of absolutes. So it looks like they're playing this in-off. Not the one you imagined earlier.
No, this is probably a bit easier. They're taking a lot of ice.
Yeah, the angle on the other one is better, but is not as flat as this one. But this one's certainly in a easier position to hit. Not a lot of ice, are they? I wonder if they may be throwing it with just hack or board. I don't see how that works.
Oh, they need to throw more weight on this.
Yeah, they need to throw this to get some real action, because I mean they could come across and hit the red hard, and that doesn't sound like the call you want to hear.
No, we'll need to take this game to an extra here, but
I don't think they will. It's
no.
a victory for Japan over previously undefeated Czech Republic. A game of momentum shifts back and forth, ups and downs. Japan comes out on top. We'll have an interview with the Japanese team and some highlights on the way.
So there you see the final score will be Japan 11, Czech Republic 6. We're going to be back at 4 o'clock with a game between reigning world champions Switzerland. They will be playing Hungary, who's also been up to a very good start so far. So join us then, and for now stand by for highlights and interview. Here we go, highlights of the second half. In the fifth end, this is a hit for 5. Big sweep all the way down. Looks a while like that red's going to hang around, but it's not. Big momentum change for Czech Republic. They score 5 to take a 6-5 lead. In the sixth end, Japan has a shot to get the lead right back. Soft handle from Kashiwagi, and it'll only be a score of 1. In the seventh end, Susanna Haikawa has a tricky tap to try and score 2. It's a little bit wide. We're going to try and pick the red instead. Won't really make it, and Japan steals 1 to lead the game 7 shots to 6 before the 8th and final end, where Japan put a lot of pressure on Czech Republic. Susanna Haikawa has a difficult in-off with her last. Won't really make it. Japan steals 4 and wins this game 11 shots to 6 in the end. That's it for us, and stand by for interview with Team Japan.
Congratulations on your win over Czech Republic. How are you feeling after that victory today?
Thank you. It was a tough game for us, but this winning is very important to go to a semi-final. So I'm happy to win this game.
What do you like about mixed doubles play?
Just two person and easy to play.
Fewer teammates makes it easier.
Yeah.
Is there anything you'd like to say to your friends, family, and supporters in Japan?
OK。みんな頑張ったよ。遅くまで見てくれてありがとう。また頑張ります。応援してね。
Thanks very much. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you very much.